Yeah, 43 years.
Oh my God.
20 years police department, 13 years county.
No kidding. We're Omaha.
No, Minneapolis area.
Oh, okay.
And this is a friend of mine. He gave it to me.
It's
Okay.
9:31, and we're calling the meeting to order. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Calling the meeting to order, just a note, before we start, we are having some internet issues that are preventing us from live streaming today. However, we should have the meeting posted to YouTube by Friday. Okay, so we apologize, but it's kind of out of our control. Okay, we have a quorum of 4. Robert is still being involved in his cancer treatment. However, he remains active as far as discussions and decisions. Is there anyone who would like to say a prayer, or we'll have a moment of silence? Okay, please stand for a moment of silence. Thank you. Pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank you. Please be seated. Okay, the minutes from December 16, 2020. Are there any issues with the minutes?
I have none.
Deanna,
No,
can we have a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve the minutes from the last board meeting.
Second?
I wasn't present, so I'll abstain from the vote.
I'll second.
Second, all approving, raise your hand. 3, 1 abstention, 1 absent. Okay, the secretary's report. He brings up a point. We voted to excuse Robert from the meetings a couple of months ago for his ongoing cancer treatment rather than continually every month. Okay. Again, he still is involved in everything that we're doing. He's just not physically present at the meetings. Okay, we have one, received an email from Sean Oram. Are you also closed, and this is in response to the gym closure due to the rise in COVID cases in King County. And he writes, are you also closing all other public areas? There's not a state mandate to close the gyms. There are more people in and out of the Fort Clark Springs office than use the gym daily. The pro shop and green room have visitors daily. We'll be closing also. There are probably less than 20 visitors in the gym a day, and those are the same visitors day in, day out. The people that use the gym are usually healthier and in better condition and have a higher survival rate if they contract COVID. Ridiculous and frustrating. Okay, first of all, the gym was closed because we now have cases active on Fort Clark. Secondly, we're a private entity and we can make a decision regardless of whether the state mandates. This is to protect our members. One of the conditions of opening the gym originally was that all members sanitize before and after they use the equipment, and this was not being done. So the conditions that we set out to open in the first place were not being followed. Golf is an outdoor, no players have access to the pro shop, they only use an outside window. And the green room, the golfers sit 6 feet apart, and there's a difference between breathing hard during exercise and sitting quietly in the room. So we're hoping to use this downtime to do some improvements to the gym. And once we control the COVID on the fort, then we can look at what all the real thing in the gym. All right, that's the only correspondent, and there's no separate report. Do you have any comments from the board?
No, I'd like to further point out that the board always likes to hear from the membership. The membership has all of our email addresses and many of our phone numbers, and that's great. Alan is the general manager of the fort. He's responsible for day-to-day operations. He will make these kind of decisions because it's his house. We support him. It was a decision that was made for a variety of reasons. As far as the front office goes, we provide cleaning materials. We employ people to clean that thing, so it's constantly disinfected, if you will, throughout the course of business. The gym is a separate matter. People are free to come in and out of there as they see fit, and when they're not respectful of the safety of others and refuse to sanitize the equipment when they're done with it, we can't in good conscience allow it to stay open, because at that point it begins to pose a danger to the other users that they're completely unaware of. So, yeah, we absolutely support Mr. Peterson and his decision, and we will continue to do so.
Anyone else? Okay, do we have to approve the secretary's report? Bill,
Good
somebody?
morning.
Oh, you have a comment.
We're
Approving the secretary's report.
I beg your pardon.
Go ahead.
I approve.
I'll second his motion to approve.
He was just warming up.
All right, raise your hand if you approve the report. That's unanimous. Okay, now the treasurer's report.
My turn?
Your turn.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Our motel revenue for December of 2020 was $24,660. The member service board report brought in $1,700. That's got to do with transfer fees and resales and lot sales, etc. Profit and loss for December. We had a gross profit of $191,773.81. We had expenses of $239,946.18 for a net income loss, or net loss, of $48,172.37. There was a few unusual expenses for the month. I know one of them we had a three payroll days instead of the normal 2. And there's some other expenses in there that made it look like we were high. The October through December profit and loss, $673,309.23. The October through December expenses was $664,065.29 for a profit of $9,243.94. The Los Morris profit and loss for December was a gross profit of $634.91, expenses $1,096.73 for a loss of $461.82. Now the Los Morris profit from October through December showed a profit of $2,850.45. Expenses were $3,327.19, and a loss of $476.74. I guess there's not a lot of beer drinking going on now. Disregard that silly statement. The restricted fund had a income of $5,166. Total expenses were $1,956.14 for an income of $3,209.86. And the profit and loss for restricted fund October through December was an income of $15,570.80, expenses $5,868.52, for a net income of $9,702.28. That concludes the treasurer's report.
I note also that we did not receive the explanation sheet for depreciation and bad debt from,
I asked him.
And the restricted breakdown.
yeah,
Also the bank balance.
I want to have a question, maybe, I'm curious about the water on the Los Morris.
Good question.
Why would that, I mean, I can understand like when you like Dickman Hall when you wash the dishes,
Now,
but,
there's a meter that Dickman Hall, starting in July last year, started going up to about $200 or $300 a month for 2 different meters. There is no water being used over there. So we are trying to figure out exactly why we're getting charged for this. And this is up to Randy to trace it down. For a while it stopped. And now this last month it came back and we have not located the cause.
okay, so you're looking at that.
Oh, yeah, I've been underneath Dickman Hall, there is no puddles of water or anything else, so we're not sure why that meter is doing that.
so this is a mud problem?
Probably not, because the meter is, anything from the meter in is ours.
Well, and even if it's watering the outside, that shouldn't be
It's
Los
not.
Morris, it should go to general.
Dickman Hall, those 2 meters have always been going to Los Morris. These are the 2 that are coded to Los Morris, which is the water for Dickman Hall. Where it's going, I don't know.
There was a leak one time in the lawn.
Yeah, but they never found it.
Well, I know, but I'm
And
just
that's,
saying.
this is not a meter that is not, it's not metered as a sprinkler. So,
Okay.
So as long as we are on the.
Yeah, I would, looks like December 2020 for water, we were at $438. Is that just the Dickman meters? Or is that
no,
for
that'd be
the back
also
as well?
part of, some of the meters at the pro shop are also there.
Okay. Yeah. I was gonna say,
Yeah,
at that kind of monthly cost, it may be worth hiring a company that has a soil density, water density
Where
meter
the
to
water
come,
is
yeah,
going, yes.
scan around and find that leak.
Well, this one sort of, we thought we had it stopped, and then all of a sudden this month it started again.
Yeah, and Dickman's a tough place because it sits up here on this hill, and, you know, the dirt up here is pretty terrible. So if we have a leak too far underground, it'll sink down and hit that bedrock and run downhill, and it might not
You
show
never see it.
above ground, yeah, so it may take some investigation.
Yeah, because they walk the grass to see if there's any seepage
There's no green
up,
spots.
and there's just, no, there's no swampy areas or anything like that. Just to throw in there, the October through December depreciation expense was $35,192.25. And the bad debt expense was $68,421.30, which is a non-cash accounting procedures of $103,613.55, which is money that was not actually spent as cash. And we are working on, with our auditor and trying to make the bad debt expense more realistic to actually what it is for us, is that correct? So we're trying to make some progress on that because it currently is higher than our actual bad debt. And we're trying, which makes no sense whatsoever. So remember, this is, a bad debt's been carried forward since day one when we became a homeowners association. And it's been raised, it's been increased periodically by our auditor, and at this point, we're not really sure. We're trying to make it more realistic to what our actual bad debt is. And Mr.
Well,
Peterson's
in
working on that.
March, Jerry will come in and
Jerry's right
explain.
here.
And he'll explain,
Yeah.
because that's when it matters, is at the end of the fiscal year.
Right.
You know, the month to month is,
Yeah, and to that point, you know, for December, our profit and loss, we showed a $48,000 loss. I'd also like to point out that we accrued just a little over $8,000 in building repairs, which is a big hit and not a regular monthly occurrence at that rate. And also the $20,000 for the audit came out in December, so that's
And if
that
you,
eats up a pile of it.
yes, these are normal expenses for this time of the year.
Yes.
And actually, if you consider the non-cash value of bad debt depreciation, it was a loss of $13,748 instead of $48. So, any other comments?
No, it's just, well, the only comment would be, you know, the monthly report is an up and down roller coaster. And, you know, the one that really matters is the one that ends in September.
That's why our profit and loss statements are marked with a big word preliminary, because they're not final until the audit is complete. Okay, so, okay, we have a motion to approve.
Move to approve the treasurer's report.
a second.
Okay, all in favor? Unanimous 4 with 1 absent. Okay. Mr. Peterson, your turn.
To explain a little bit more about where the money's going in your financials. And I can compare it to last year, I can compare it to the budget. As far as our revenue, our RV park is 22% over last year for the month, 41% year-to-date over last year. As far as to budget, which is more accurate because I take the whole year into account, the RV park is actually down for the month 1,000 or 5%, but for the year it's over $4,000 or 6% as far as revenue in the RV park. Motel, last year we're over 26% for the month, we're over 32.5% for the year as far as revenue. Also, as far as to budget, which is really more for the year, we're over 17% or $3,600 for the month over last year, or 13%, $8,900 for the year for the motel. For the golf course, for the last year compared to last year, we're 74% over where we were last year. Year-to-date, we're 48.3% over where we were last year. Now, the budget, we're down 20%, or only $2,600 for the month. For the year, we're under 30% or $13,000 for the year in golf. So the golf is the one area that we need to improve on. One of the more interesting things are our late fees, which go to our bad debt, are actually down 37.8% this last month. So we're making some headway on getting our fees paid on time. Unfortunately, that's always been considered income, but that also means people are paying accurately. The hunt, which everybody wants to know, this last month, it's over $4,400 for over budget. For the year, it's 70% over budget, or $23,850. And that's pretty much profit, so we're good there. So as far as going to our month-to-date on our income with our budget, we're pretty much dead on. One of the big areas is payroll, everybody wants to know. To our budget, we're down 77% over what I budgeted in payroll, or $8,500 for the month. 11% or $29,000 under what we budgeted for payroll for the year. So we're really on a good track right now. We've spent a few things. We did put in $10,000 into the renovation. It was not budgeted, so there is an expense there. And of course, the audit was $20,000 this last month. So all in all, it's not, we're pretty much on track to where we expected to be. One to thank, of course, yesterday we had a fire in Unit 14. I think everybody understands that. In the future, I would like to see anybody that's listening or watching or here, when we have a fire, get off the road. Don't go park in the lanes that go up to where the fire department's trying to get to. There's really no need for it. It got into a lot of problems yesterday with trying to get emergency vehicles in. And I don't know if it had any effect, but we did have 2 buildings burned down. And it's going to happen sometimes, and we just need to observe some kind of procedures of staying off the road when emergency vehicles are coming around. I want to thank all the volunteers that we've had. Last week we worked downstairs basement cleanup of Dickman Hall. It was quite an event, and quite a lot of stuff came out. Haven't put anything back in yet except for some tables. And part 1 cleanup yesterday in the Red Bridge Park went quite well. We found out that there's probably going to need to be a part 2, since there was a lot more than we expected. Next week, we're going to be doing the pool in the Rendezvous Park area, same kind of cleanup. And I want to thank especially the volunteers that have been repairing the gazebo. They've done a lot of restoring there and have done some painting, restoration, rotten wood, things like that. It's looking much better. As far as the volunteer goes, we have restored power to the fire station, and we are starting to develop it into a volunteer workstation. We have a lot of tables, benches, chairs that the guys are working on now, as well as building things for around the fort. A lot of painting. They're basically making a headquarters for volunteers to work out of. We do have an electrician that did restore the power to the fire station, as well as restored the lights to the entrance. In case anybody's noticed, the big 4 globes are now working. The floodlights are working there. He still has to work on troubleshooting and getting the issues of the exterior lighting for Unit 1, as well as for the pools. Our staff has been hit pretty hard by COVID. I think we have 4 maintenance guys working, 1 maintenance guy for golf working. All of this has pretty much been contracted from things that went on during the holidays, not necessarily here at the fort. It's, it's traceable and it's traced, but it has hit our maintenance staff and our golf maintenance staff the hardest. So we're a little slow. Most of them are coming back, all security's back. Golf maintenance is still hurt. We have had a mason that has we were fortunate enough while he was working on the commissary to restore the brick or the rock wall outside of Dickman Hall, which was hit by a car over a year ago, I would say. He did a great job, and we're glad to finally get that fixed. And we have hired a new person that has worked on our delinquencies, Renee Ford. Yesterday, we had a call with our lawyers, and they now have us online, so we can track everything that we have worked with them. And it's going on a real expeditious manner. That would be all I have.
We've had some people are actually asking about our planning for the solar eclipse in 3 years. Let him know where we are, at least right now.
I think we have some volunteers that are doing the effort of getting a committee started so we can start planning for that. We've closed off reservations as far as taking reservations in the motel and the RV park. And I'll probably put a hold on that until we actually have an inventory system that we can do it correctly. We'll just turn it down. The one, I think we had 4 rooms that were already booked, and we will keep those, but they are as a rate to be determined. In other words, it's open rate, we did not give a rate, and we'll make sure we capitalize on that. I've been through a couple of them. They turn into a real big thing for about a week. So there is money to be made there, but it's also pretty much don't get out of control. You know, just maintain what we're doing, and it's going to be it could be a good showcase for us, and we just need to use that.
Do you have any other comments on the gym?
I'm hoping to get it open by February 1st. That's a Monday, and maybe we can have some things in there. The rumor is there is we may be supplied a disinfecting machine. The one I've used before is called a Clorox 360. It's a electrostatic disinfectant machine. If we had our restaurants open, if we had all our public areas open, I would suggest we buy it, but it is a $5,000 machine. So it's a matter of right now, it's not really something we can look into.
The board, we are very well aware that the solar eclipse could bring us absolutely a full RV park, full wilderness camp, full motel, and ranchers, the city, the county, everyone's going to be involved in it as we get closer to the event. Although at this point the board agrees that actually starting a membership committee 3 years in advance is probably a little bit premature. So it's not that we're not interested, it's why we want to make sure that if we start something, it doesn't end next year. And it's hard to keep committees together for 3 years, but by all means, if you've got some wonderful ideas, especially for activities for people who come to visit us during the time they're here, special event activities, those are the things we're going to be needing, keeping our visitors busy the couple days before and the time they're here and afterward, because the eclipse itself just lasts for a few minutes, and then we got people all over the place needing things to do. So.
And it's important to understand that the eclipse, we're not the only place that's going to have the eclipse.
No.
We're just the first place in the United States that's going to be getting the eclipse. So it's a matter of, it's going to go through some very high density areas anyway. So therefore the areas we'll probably get people from will be Houston, anything east of us. And do it that way. Dallas and everything, they're going to have their own areas.
Yep, I would, to the gym point, as far as the machine you're talking about, I know at the station we have some little handheld fogging machines. I think we bought them on Amazon that take a bleach water solution that are significantly cheaper than that, and they do work. I will try to find out what they are and get them to you in case that's something that you're interested in. To the eclipse, those individuals who are already bringing this up, I would highly recommend that you get with the front office and community council. And while it will be a moneymaker for the fort, there's also opportunity for the private rentals on the fort, so I would get with them and, and when all this comes around, you can kind of put their rental opportunities out as well.
And you had some donations. But did you want to read those?
If I can find that sheet.
I've got it right here. Do you want me to read it? Or do you want to look for it? It's okay.
I have a lot of sheets here.
Good.
Thank you, Julie. Michelle Spivey donated baked goods for the Christmas golf parade at Dickman Hall. Linda O'Brien donated a Christmas tree. Terry and Dennis Sniper have donated 2 pickup loads of Christmas, fall, and Easter decorations. And as far as the volunteer area at the fire station goes, they are, if anybody has excess building tools or anything they want to donate, that would be a good place to donate for them to work on things at the fort. They're just looking for anything they can. We've donated a lot of stuff, but there's always going to be a need. It's going to be a headquarters to do things around the fort. We'd appreciate it.
Well, I would think tools, garden tools, wheelbarrows, anything like that. Paint. Any more questions from the directors? Okay. Okay, committee reports, airport. Okay, I'd like to repeat, these are board certified committees, and we really do expect a report, either email that we can read off or personal attendance, so when we get reports from these committees. Okay, so I'll repeat again. Architectural Committee, thank you.
So we have, I think, a full committee with the 2 people that we provided you, and we're just doing permits. We've had a couple of variance requests that we forwarded one to you, and I'll be forwarding another one to you soon, and we're just doing business as usual. We did move our meetings to 4 o'clock on Tuesdays instead of 9 o'clock on Tuesdays, and that has actually allowed for more applicants to attend. We've had people come to almost every meeting since we've changed the time, so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Who are you?
Phoebe, Bordelon.
Thank you. Yes, please do.
Sorry.
Well, for one thing, some people can't recognize you with your mask on. But we appreciate people wearing masks, truly. Okay, Golf Committee. Okay, we are going to address one of the issues on the Golf Committee. I would like to, I'll report for them what I know. Send the only golfer on the board. Is that they are sanitizing carts. Everyone uses carts. The housekeeping, sanitizing, restroom facilities, they can only be entered from the outside, green room, everything. Secondly, apparently, San Felipe Golf Course in Del Rio is closed, possibly permanently. Their golfers are coming here. This should help our incoming revenue, both on green fees, memberships, and the sale of beverages and snacks and things. So we'll be addressing some of that a little bit later as far as golf carts and so forth. Okay, that's pretty much all I just wanted to say, except please, Golf Committee, again, please provide us with a report. Preservation.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm not over. Just thought I'd say that.
Don't say.
Preservation, we took the month of December off, and we met this past month, but we're still kind of like on downtime. We had a phenomenal year last year, did 5 major projects, and so we're resting and we're letting the checkbook rest. That was the biggie. We just wanna make sure we know where we are, and we didn't have that information at the last meeting financially. So, there's lots of things to do around here with volunteer groups. So, we're sort of working on that a little bit. We have a little bit more to sweep up and clean up on the, commissary and the windlass. I put in a work order for that. They're gonna do that shortly. That's been hanging for 10 years and needs to be hung up. That's all we have left, and that building will be 100%. So Seminole Hall is 100%. The backside of the NCO club is finished and should pass the tax problems with the discount. So that's all I have for information.
Thank you.
Thank you. Recycling is already up.
We haven't got the check back yet from our removal of cardboard in early December. So I'm hoping that looks like 1,700 maybe. So I was really pleased because they raised the amount per tonnage. So that hopefully will come out good. We hope to send another shipment next week or the week later of just the regular recyclables. And I think other than we're continually having problems with the old forklift that was donated to us about 13 years ago. So we have some hydraulic fluid leaking.
That was addressed yesterday.
Yeah, great. So I think that's about it for recycling. Questions? No.
I have a question. The stuff upstairs in the administrative department that we need to clean out, if it's not anything of security or something that shouldn't be on the street, can she utilize some of that? Because she can make money with white paper, right?
Yeah.
We'll have to see what's up there first before we can answer that question.
But if we could.
If it's something that can be recycled and doesn't need to be
Does it have
burned.
to be shredded?
Yeah, I think so. I think a lot of it's
No.
accounting and
No,
stuff.
I
And
don't think it has to be shredded anymore.
No.
Okay, then yeah, because there's not anything up there. that's
Plus she takes shredded paper too.
we're gonna say, can't we bring a shredder and before you send it to there, have it, that way we're protected?
gonna- there's-
Bills from 1970.
I've been up there, started working on that.
The only two
back
things you
when.
have to worry about are social security numbers and driver's license numbers. And those we can weed out while we're going through. That's what I've done, everything downstairs.
And the bank account numbers and stuff aren't the same up there?
No, these are most of the stuff up there, they're like, besides Halloween decorations, because we've been up there and we've worked on before, our ledgers dating back to the 70s, the cloth covered hardback ledgers.
Those probably would you want to burn.
Yeah, but the problem being there is the taking them apart, putting, there's a lot of labor in there to get them ready to send over to there, and we have to judge tossing it.
I'm just saying if some of it could be
Yeah.
used,
We'll
we could
look,
make
we
money
can
with.
look at it and see.
Yeah, okay.
Los Morris Restoration Project.
As you know, the engineering, this is a report from our chair, Chris Hale. As you know, the engineering firm came to the Ford on December 12th. They expect to have their assessment report early next week. We've had a few conversations with potential donors for the two most urgent structural issues, but those discussions are mostly pending the detailed engineering conclusions, including cost estimates. The request for a relocation of the Los Morris marker was made to the Texas Historical Commission in December. They agreed to the new location, but are considering how to handle an error they noticed in the text. George Howard was identified as John Howard. So that has to be straightened out first. So that's it.
Any
Thank you.
questions from the board?
Joe?
Good, thank you.
Okay, election committee. Okay, we're gonna have a time for the drawing, but please let us know how everything else is going.
Oh, okay.
But you can leave that stuff up here if you want,
Okay.
you don't have to keep carrying it around.
We have 5 candidates running for our 3 positions. They are Mimo Guzman, Sandra Hagan, Travis Huey, Linda O'Brien, and Lisa Vale. And I don't know, I see 3 of you are here. We will be drawing for positions on the ballot.
Okay, are you moving along on envelopes and
Yes.
working with administration?
Yes, and the ballots will go out, be mailed out on February 12th, and they have to be received back on March 12th.
Thank you. Okay, for some reason, I just noticed that community council was left off the report agenda. Is there someone here from?
No, it's there.
It's a big one.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm old.
Yeah, but the
Bylaws.
bylaws.
Yeah, let's, bylaws committee.
Just a simple, we're waiting for some response from you at this meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Sandy, I'd like to bring this up now. This affects the board and the bylaws committee.
May I,
And 2 years of dog barking,
um,
and we need your help.
identify yourself, please.
Oh, Wolfhard. Oh, Richard Ebert. Right, and this is a 2-year ongoing problem where they tell me there's no type of direction from the board of directors, and there's nothing in our bylaws regarding barking dogs. Now, I'm not talking about the friendly bark in the dog course, or on the golf course. I'm talking about sitting on our decks at Master's condo in the evening with constant barking.
Okay.
I like leaving my doors open at night, and I hate to get
Dick.
woke up in the middle of the night from barking.
Dick,
I have 2 gentlemen
Dick,
here,
Dick,
I would just like to bring it up.
okay, thank you. It's, you're only out of order because of where this conversation is right now. It's
I didn't find any place in your thing where I could bring
Besides,
it up.
that's rules and regs, and
Okay.
those are
All
something
right.
we're gonna address.
Where would I bring it up after this?
Okay.
Bring it up to me,
Yes,
Pardon?
bring it up to
Supposed to
me.
be Alan.
Don't worry, I hear them too.
Okay.
yeah. Okay, I'm sorry, Dick, but I mean, we are
No, I
aware.
understand. I apologize for barging in. I wasn't sure where I fit.
No, it's okay.
You can
Believe
take
me,
me out if you want.
we are well aware of that problem. Okay, now, I'm sorry, community council report.
It's 2-legged dog and 4-legged dog.
It's kind of warm in here. Okay, good morning. So as you know, Community Council meets the second Saturday of every month except July and August. Every member who has property around the fort is an automatic member of Community Council. It's a very important organization. I actually went through and I found our old bylaws and charter, 1976. That's how long we've been in existence as far as I can remember, and that's way before my time. Okay, this will be just a short recap of our January meeting. January was our annual meeting, and at that time, Allison read the audit letter and also posted everything to say that we are in compliance with IRS because we are a 501c3. All those reports are posted on our website, and they go way back. If you're interested in more details, please go look at it. Okay. The second one, since it was our annual meeting, we had elections. The new officers, well, Natanya's still finishing hers. The officers now are Natanya as president, H.N. Bitter as vice president, Kathleen Worm as secretary, and Tiana Johnson as treasurer. There was a very good presentation by Travis Huey regarding the bylaws committee presentation. Travis and Linda explained some of the things that were in question, gave some clarification. As Linda said, there were still
and working on it, and Travis has a presentation. I think it's a PowerPoint, and I believe it's also on Fort Clark website. And his last comment before the presentation was, for really and truly, Travis stressed the state laws supersede HOA laws. But there is some questions, and they're going to go through and try to work with this. That's as far as the presentation was done. The other one is Allison explained that we will have a short meeting on February 13th, that's when we normally meet, before the forum starts. Also, she reminded members that Fort Clark Springs Community Council board members cannot endorse anyone running for office. If so, that would be in violation of our 501c3 requirements. So don't endorse anybody if you're an officer of Fort Clark Springs Community Council. Okay? And the last one that was very interesting, which we're all talking about, I Googled this was just phenomenal. The total eclipse. It went through, it had it going over our path, Bracketville, right? We are out here in nowhere land. It's going to be a beautiful thing. You won't have traffic. You won't have, it's during the day, right? And also, we have all the space you could possibly want to put people up, you know, a little bit, because I think it's a wonderful opportunity. Heck, we got the airport, you know, we got everything. And also, Travis said, it's a little bit early, but for what it was worth, I think I could be wrong, but I think he said there is absolutely no room in Bandera, and there's no room in Kerrville, because people already are coming from all over the world. It's the United States of America and Texas, and they want to see it, because the next one I think he said was 2076 or
44
yeah, 44
years.
Yeah, we may not be around for that one. Okay, I think that's all I have. We have a good community council meeting, and don't forget the forum. Thank you.
Thank you. Again, we stressed from the board's point of view that community council is the membership forum. Please, 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 please attend, please be involved. They refer everything to us, and we stand behind them 100%.
Absolutely. That, if the membership wants something on the agenda, the dogs and the rules and regs is a perfect example. Get with community council, because they have a permanent spot on our agenda. So they are able to bring up the concerns of the membership at every single board meeting. So please work with them, and they'll work with us, and we will get the membership on the agenda.
And
Thank you, Dustin.
Yes, ma'am.
And their meeting is before the board meeting, so there's time to get information to us after the community council meeting. And we, as board members, welcome them back into the fold.
Yes.
They were kind of outliers there for a while, but we would want them fully involved.
If anybody wants to research that, in other HOAs, it's considered a nuisance ordinance. So just for your benefit, it can be done, and it's usually
I have seen it done here on the fort. It is currently in the rules and regs. I believe somebody on the staff has the decibel meter.
Matt?
And it's measured at, basically at your property line.
Yeah.
So that's the state nuisance laws define what a nuisance sound is, so, you know, if it's over that, we can address it. If it's under that, you know, we can talk to them, but really, but it does exist.
This was last minute, because we were informed that the board had no direction, and they couldn't do anything, and security couldn't do anything. So that's the reason we came down today.
That's not the case.
There is not a penalty addressed.
I apologize, misinformed.
No, there are no penalties addressed specifically. However, we handle membership complaints as they occur through Mr. Peterson's office, who works with Matt.
Right, and no different than any other violation of the rules and regs. You know, there's a process to address it. We can mail letters, there are violations. It takes a bit to get it done.
Yes, and the board can act on it with emergency rule changes. So, yes, we can handle that. We prefer to handle it in a neighborly, courteous manner if possible. Okay. Barking dogs are an issue in every homeowners association and every city in the United States, so this is not an issue that we're unfamiliar with. Okay, anything else? All right. Okay, there's no old or unfinished business. We did take a couple of email votes. One, there was a variance request for personal property patio into his setback, which did not encroach on either common property or anybody else's property. That was approved by the board. The stairway to the stairs at the motel have been in hazardous condition for a long time. And years ago, previous boards tried to get those fixed, but we received some really outrageous bids to do so. So I'm gonna, since we did approve this, but I wanted Alan Peterson to be able to explain the process. We approved this by an email vote so that construction can start as soon as possible by MK, because we've been kind of, this should have been done a long time ago.
The pitch of the stairs are really a hazard. It's been brought up too many times for us not to address. MK and I, builders, we looked at it, we basically have designed, it will increase the footprint at the bottom by roughly 3 feet, which is a doable thing, and we could, it hinged on getting a 20-foot 2x12, and we found that, and that's what we're gonna go with, and they'll start the first set Monday, and should take about 3 days of having those top rooms out of order, then we'll go to the next one the next week. Get that done.
So we approved MK Builders LLC for the stairway in Bullis Hall and Patton Hall for $5,812.49. So we didn't want MK having to go to another project before we could get this approved today, so it was approved by email. We also approved 2 new members for the architectural committee. Francis Bitter from Unit 21 and Jack Marsh from Unit 25. So those were approved by email vote.
On that, when it comes to architectural members, our current declaration states that they need to be from different units. To kind of make sure that we stay in compliance, unless we send it to the membership to change, I would just advise whenever someone's coming up, put the units that you are seeking for. You know, like, so if you don't have someone in unit 3, or, you know, just put the available ones, so that way we're in compliance. Is my suggestion.
Good idea.
And it also brings more representation in with more units, which is why it was there, so one unit doesn't have total control of the arc. Okay. But those were all email votes. Okay, we go to a new business action item. The first item is approval of a Los Morris tournament. This is an annual tournament. This is the 32nd annual Los Morris Toby Nelson Golf Tournament. It brings in money for the golf course, it brings in money to the city and to the county, and to renters and so forth on the fort. It's a big event. We have anywhere from 60 to 80 teams that come, so a lot of people. This is, they gave us a complete packet. Again, it's an annual event this year. It's March 19th through the 21st, of course, at our 18-hole golf course. Any comments from the board?
I'm just curious, since it's an annual event, why would we put it on the agenda? Why doesn't it just go through Alan?
Because, I agree with you, but the golf committee asked that we put it on the agenda. So it publicizes the event, and I figured that it wouldn't be a very difficult vote. So we, as requested, Debbie Isaacs requested to be on the agenda. But I agree, this is something that can be approved in the future by our general manager, executive officer. Can I have a,
Make a motion to
Motion,
approve
please.
tournament.
Yes, I will Alan, do you have any, would you like to comment on this before we? No? All right, and I will move to approve as proposed the Hoagie Nelson Memorial Golf Tournament.
Any comments from members? Okay, all in favor?
Somebody gonna
Unanimous?
second it?
Well,
You already-
You second, I think.
I'll second your vote.
Okay, so
I'll second your motion, okay?
you win, it's all four.
I'm glad somebody's paying attention to what's going on here.
Well, I'm just glad I'm not the only one that missed something. Okay. All right, the next item is a drawing for ballot positions. So I'll call the election committee representative up.
Are you gonna draw for Lisa?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And Rihanna is not running for the board. She's,
Lisa got in touch with her, so she's
oh,
good.
oh, okay. Oh, okay.
We have a member that's being quarantined, or a candidate, so she's appointing Phyllis
Yes.
to draw for her.
Okay.
And I think Travis isn't here, so
Is there someone drawing for Travis?
I
Well,
guess he gets what's left
he gets,
over.
yeah, he can draw last.
He gets the last position. Okay.
You're taller, you were.
Okay, please explain how you're doing this. This is different than last year, so, I mean.
Oh, okay, well,
2 years
there
ago.
are cards in here, A's through 5, and they're going to come up and draw for their position. I'm gonna have them sign the card and give it back to me.
Okay. Okay, if we could have,
Ladies first?
Okay.
Do you want us to come up there, is that it?
yes,
Come draw.
Come on.
Dun, dun, dun,
I can't.
dun.
You can't reach it, it's not gonna work.
I'm drawing for Lisa Bale.
Would you put her name on it and
Would you? So you're supposed to write on this?
yeah.
Here, put your name on it.
Number 3.
Number 5, so I just.
And Travis will be number 1.
I'm back to go now. Oh, I was gonna try to hand
I will take those.
That's a great idea.
Great, perfect.
How are you?
Oh, did you?
okay, would you read those off in the order that they were written?
Oh, sure.
Tell us what it needs to get.
3.
Travis is number 1.
That's funny.
Travis is
No,
3,
4. I forget.
4.
She'll be. But O'Brien's number 2. Sandy Hagan 3. Lisa Bell 4. And me on 5.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, any comments from the directors? Can you read me?
Yes, ma'am.
One is Travis,
Yes.
2,
Linda O'Brien,
Linda O'Brien, 3 is Sandy, 4 is
Lisa
Lisa,
Bell.
and 5 is Mr. Guzman.
Let the games begin.
Okay. Any other comments for anyone? Okay.
Now, did they make an announcement for the stuffing of the ballots, when they're gonna keep care of that?
Yeah,
after?
they'll put announcements in the dispatch as important dates come up. And each one of the candidates supplies 2 people to help with ballot stuffing. And we only have,
Until it's finished.
yes, until it's finished. We only have 5 people on the ballot, so that's, and they can't be there. So that's 10 people to help the people on the election committee. And those people should be planned to be there for the whole process that day, possible. And if you are interested in helping someone stuff ballots, you can contact one of the candidates or the election committee, and they'll make sure the information gets to me. Okay, next is the consider approval of the RV Parks bid for internet service equipment.